This is the story of the Gecko, hands down the greatest villain in the history of writing. TODO, a cloaked vigilante, plays with the radio on a quiet highway. The radio suddenly bursts out of his hands, as it has been turned in, and in an act of true amazingness, TODO manages to catch it before it falls down into the abyss. We have a code 56-11. A female police officer says on the now-active radio, "The Jubble City Bank is being robbed." The female relays her suspicions that the Jubble City Bank is the host of an evildoer. This catches the attention of TODO, and he becomes excited. "This is my chance to show what I'm made of," he exclaims aloud, for all to hear. He runs down the empty highway, completely ignoring the nearby automobile that could drive him to the scene. An ear-piercing alarm rings out through the streets, as the Bank of Jubble has been broken into. "We've been robbed, and someone set off all of the alarms." The mayor explains to the female cop, "How did they steal from the giant conspicuous safe?" The female asks, unknowing of what fate lies before them. "I don't know, it's not even open." The mayor exclaims, "Well, let's open it and see what they stole." A law enforcement police cop officer unlocks the safe and opens it to reveal all of the money is still there. The mayor looks closely at a strange bag of dough floating in the air, and the Gecko seems to materialize out of thin air to reveal he is the one holding the dosh. The mayor shrieks like a banshee and screeches at the top of his lungs, "It's the thief, get him." As this happens, the Gecko opens his mouth to reveal a sticky tongue and launches it at a nearby pillar to latch on. The Gecko swings to his destination, as the police force shoot their pistols at him, to no avail. The Gecko is too quick. The Gecko lets out a loud and intimidating hiss before snatching one of the cop's pistols with his tongue. The Gecko shoots the gun into the air before taking aim at the nearby window. The Gecko shoots the window and throws the gun to make way for his grand and daring escape. He's getting away. The female yells in a tone that sounds as if she's trying to imitate Captain Obvious. The Gecko swings from lamppost to lamppost, mullah in hand. The police force follow close behind, as they awkwardly run to their automobiles to begin the chase. We have a code 57-19. The lady informs the rest of the force. Watch his face runs down the street, as the babbles of the radio ring through his ears. The child yells profanities at the Gecko, but this does not persuade him into dropping the diners. Preschooler tells the Gecko something he saw on a poster in school, but this seems to be only a joke to the fair Gecko. The Gecko blows a raspberry. This aggravates the child. Oh, it is on. The camera pans around TODO dramatically, as he flexes his muscle. TODO appears to taunt the beast. The odds are stacked against this fair crusader. The Gecko takes a look at TODO, possibly deciding to drop this dangerous profession. The Gecko launches his tongue at TODO and smashes his brains in. The Gecko continues on his way around the city, as TODO somehow gets up from that assault. The Gecko stops on his way in a lamppost and looks around. He possibly forgot what he was doing. TODO snatches the Gecko's sack of schmeckles right from under him. The Gecko is aggravated. The Gecko belts out an ear-piercing hiss cause he is clearly pissed. The car TODO was riding on has stopped at a traffic light. Whoever's driving it must be the most unobservant person in the world. The Gecko can't just sit and watch his sack get thieved. The Gecko latches onto the post with his tail and lowers himself in order to get a better aim. He opens his mouth and launches the sticky tongue to wrap around TODO. The Gecko reels in his tongue to pull TODO, but TODO escapes Gecko's hold. TODO aims his fist at Gecko. The Gecko has no time to react. TODO is going so fast that he punches the Gecko harder than he could ever manage to in his lifetime. TODO falls to the ground, but the Gecko is nowhere to be seen. The Gecko materializes behind TODO before belting out a loud hiss, and this was his downfall. TODO notices the Gecko before he gets to attack, and they are locked in a never-ending battle of TODO missing the Gecko. TODO lands his punch, and the Gecko, clearly peeved to the point, launches his tongue again. A mistake that he will soon regret. TODO catches the gecko's tongue, and somehow smashes him into the pavement again and again. This should have been the opposite. TODO flings the gecko around by his sticky tongue. The gecko has been defeated and tied up by his tongue. TODO lets out another profanity to salt the gash. The gecko looks around for TODO, clearly not used to being helpless. The lady cop picks up and reads the note that TODO left. "Hey, here's that lizard guy that robbed that bank, TODO." The camera pans towards a skyscraper that ghosts TODO, the cloaked vigilante. The end.